All right, let's do it. UVA, this is it.
Oh, I got in!
Woo!
I got into the School of...
Hey, all right, so up and running. All right, so this is some of the comments about the bad side of the college, the whole college admissions thing and the college process, particularly for the parents or whoever's going to end up paying for it, which will probably include the kid too. They're going to get, there could be loans too. So you watch the video clip. She gets in University of Virginia, UVA, tremendous school. One of the top schools in the country, certainly one of the top public schools, right up there, with Michigan or, we go on and about that, UCLA possibly. So she gets in, we're very excited. Now this is a while ago, we're later in the process, but I always wanted to get this, I just wanted to do a video about this process, okay? So this is just some thoughts as a parent. So she gets in UVA. UVA is a public school. We live in Maryland, okay? And this is kind of the point of this video is going to be public versus private schools. And and the bad part about the public schools. So she gets into UVA. We are totally normal middle class. UVA, so here's where we get to it. The out-of-state cost for UVA, ultimately you get like a nice printed out form, and they put the estimated cost of attendance, and I'm reading right from the form, as $73,642. Now, being out of state, you get hit with like triple the tuition cost. The room and board is always the same, in my understanding of it. So the room and board will be the same. The tuition triples. Now, UVA is the next state down from us. We live 35 minutes from UVA. In doing this, we didn't know whether, do they have scholarships or do they have some kind of extra funds to kick in? And the answer was absolutely not. You use your FAFSA. They also did a base, this is funny. So based on the FAFSA, which anyone who's watching this knows what that is they said our parental or family contribution would be $59,000 a year. But based on their institutional methodology, they kicked it up to $65,500 a year. So they expect us to pay $65,000 a year. The only thing they gave was some loan options to our daughter, Kelly, of $5,500 a year. So Kelly can get there's no free money, no scholarship money at all. Kelly can get a free loan, or not a free loan, for the loan options is as good as it gets, the direct subsidized loan options. But it ultimately costs the loans will be $5,500 loans. Have to pay them back. And then the rest is on us, which we either pay whatever. I don't know what you do. Do you sell blood or something? I don't know what you do. How do you come up with $67,000, $65,000? So on that, so a couple points. So that was very discouraging. I was like, whoa, I thought it would be better. I thought there'd be other options. So let's go a little further with this. So she got into Maryland. So Maryland, almost anyone, when you watch these videos, everyone's going to apply to their best state school. So, you might be applying to the Ivies and schools like that, but you still got to do your state school because you never know what's going to happen on those schools. So you're going to do your best state school, and then, you'll see it all the time with people randomly applying to a school that you wouldn't be like, oh, they're applying to Yale and Harvard. Why are they applying to, South Carolina? Well, because that's their state school, and, most schools have an honors program. So Maryland has an honors program. So Kelly gets into the University of Maryland Honors College, which is good, which we were excited about, because that was in-state, much cheaper. That comes in at about, I have their forms right here. The total cost of attendance is $28,790. Maryland's a pretty expensive state, so that's really cheap, and it's definitely our best state school. They offered a $5,000 loan to her, and that was it. Again, zero free money, zero scholarships, zero grants, zero work study, some of these other things that you would, I don't want to go really long here. some of these other things. So that was our Maryland school. She applied to Penn State's Honors College. They have Penn State's huge, but they have a specific honors college. And because we were out of state, Penn State was more reasonable than UVA, but it was like in the low 50s. They gave a $5,000 scholarship. They're the only ones of the state schools that gave any type of money. And then the last one, so she applied to 13 schools overall. 4 of them were state schools. It was Maryland, Penn State, UVA, I'm doing it in order now, and then Cal Berkeley, University of California, Berkeley, another very prestigious school. Berkeley, that's a whole separate thing with the California system. But ultimately, Berkeley was very similar to UVA. It was in the high 60s. They gave no money, nothing. There was one thing that she might have been able to apply for, and that was after the fact, that she might have been able to apply for. But, I mean, we're done now. Once you hit April 1st, most of that stuff was done. And so where I'm going with this is the fact that Maryland didn't. So if you end up looking at I put another video in. Kelly, I don't want to I guess I'll just say, ultimately she gets into some of the bigger time schools down the road. Notre Dame, ultimately Princeton, Duke, and they offer, University of Chicago, they offer money, real money. And it goes back to what as parents, there was some online things that were free. Ultimately, these things were trying to sell you these packages of the college coaches and stuff like that. And they had said the private institutions have the money. And this all played out, and it all played out, it really played out like this. They have the money. They have the alumni associations. They have these huge endowments, and they have the money. So we still haven't decided what we're doing, and that's a whole nother thing. Down the road, I'd like to make some better videos or whatever. But I just wanted to get this out there, again, for the parents. So 'cause we have other kids that play sports and stuff, and I talk to people who have preteens, and I said, these numbers are staggering. Life-changing numbers. If you're going to go to school that almost all the top schools are 80 grand, that's 320 grand. What about graduate school? What about, professional schools, law school? So I tell them, I don't know, they call it here in Maryland, they call it a 529 plan, where you contribute money, tax deferred over, you probably should start this stuff when the kids are 2 years old or when they're born, who knows? Start putting the money away, start chipping away at these tax deferred things. They're a win-win. Anything tax deferred is always a good thing. You have your tax deferred savings for work. So get on these 529s. What's the bad side about that? There's pros and cons with all this stuff. If you do have a sizable, or whatever you have in your 529, you're going to have to put down on your FAFSA. You're going to have to disclose that, and they're going to hold that against you. So if you're awesome and you put $120,000 over the years, you plugged away and you had a decent amount of money, they're going to hold that against you. That's going to be something that obviously is going to go towards. They know that you have it, and it's going to go towards tuition payments or the fees. So they're going to, in their calculations of things, hold it against you. Now, I still think I would still 100% recommend doing it. It's the way to go. Don't tank on it and don't do it, which was kind of what we did, because it was it was too late. Do we jump in now, or what do we do? So those are comments. This thing is a wild ride. I mean, from the time the kid starts doing applications, and especially when you get to these hyper competitive schools, the kid's really busy. The applications are super intensive. The FAFSA is intensive. Then they get in, and where I start off with is they get in UVA, incredible to me, and then you find out that it's completely unrealistic. It's just just impossible. For anyone, I don't know, if you can cut a $65,000 check per year, then that's awesome. Good for you. So those are my comments. Anyway, give it a like or something. Write me any of your, if you want to write the comments or, put scenarios and stuff, I'll respond, because right now, this is like very, very much part of our lives. This whole thing, this whole college application thing, and the money that goes as part of the process. All right, thanks.